How's it going, everyone? In today's video, I'm going to be ranking my favorite Cartoon Network shows of all time. And to make things more interesting, I'm going to be doing my top 5 favorites just to make it that much harder. Also, quick note, I might end up making this into a little series, starting off with Cartoon Network, then Disney XD, and finally Nickelodeon. By the way, I'm also not including animes that might have aired on Cartoon Network or any other cartoon channels, just to make it fair. So with all that being said, let's get right into this list. As much as this pains me to say, at the number 5 spot, we have Chowder. Overall, I love this show for its humour, the characters are enjoyable to watch, and the whole premise of a chef and his apprentice is one that I never thought would be as interesting as it was. Sometimes I even watch it back with fond memories of better times, and although a lot of things in this cartoon wouldn't slide in today's time, I can 100% think of worse examples. In the number 4 spot is Ben 10. Certainly an iconic show and one that I hold such a special place for. Although there are many adaptations of this franchise, I'm more so referring to the original Ben 10, which I solely prefer because of the action and the way that Ben is able to utilize the few aliens he has in different situations that best makes use of their abilities. Say, for example, forearms with its strength. And I do prefer the designs of those few original Ben 10 aliens, though I can appreciate them for expanding the roster of aliens Ben is able to use later on. Next is Teen Titans, which comes in the number 3 spot, though it goes without saying how incredible the show is, and I'd even go as far as to argue that this show is better than all the other shows on this list in regards to character development and emotional payoffs. Not to mention that this show to me doesn't feel like your average kids show, which is made evident by the conflicts and mature themes. Furthermore, Teen Titans subverted my expectations of what a cartoon was supposed to look like, with its distinguished and expressive art style. On top of that, I've always been a big fan of superheroes growing up, with things like Batman Brave and the Bold, Batman the Animated Series, Batman Beyond, The Batman, etc. For my number 2 spot, we have Samurai Jack. This show by far is my favourite in regards to the world building and themes, which perfectly encapsulates the lone samurai motif in a world unfamiliar to someone of his time. Not to mention that the show was also made by the same creator of other iconic cartoons like Dexter's Laboratory and Symbiotic Titans, which in hindsight are both amazing shows. But what makes Samurai Jack so good to me is the cultural representation, the amazing fights, and the time traveling, which in most cases I'm not usually a fan of. Also, Jack's main goal is easy to understand, which makes his journey in the show feel that much more engaging. Plus, I really like a lot of the relationships within the show and the turmoil Jack faces later on in his journey. Last but not least, in the number 1 spot is The Amazing World of Gumball. If you're familiar with the series, you know exactly why I hold this show in such high regards. Not only for the characters, but for the slapstick humour, the multiple different art styles that embodies the weirdness and creativity of the show, but also for the weird and wacky hijinks that Gumball, his friends, and family get themselves into, which makes the world feel that much more inclusive and memorable. And a lot of the series' antics are usually caused by the selfishness of the characters themselves, which further engages you into the world and is generally one of the many things I love about the show, amongst other things. So that's the end of my list. Let me know your thoughts down below, and if you made it this far, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel if you are new. Thanks again for watching, and until next time.